Welcome to Charlotte's Wandering Web with your adventurous guide to the good times, Charlotte Tweed. Each week, Charlotte takes you on the journey of a lifetime to a delightful Caribbean locale where the sun never sets on your good life at a great price. And now with her muy amigo, Carib Carter, here's your host, Charlotte Tweed. Hello. This is Carib Carter Clues, and welcome to Charlotte's Wandering Web. Charlotte, of course, is in Mexico, and we have the pleasure, the joy of joining her there. Charlotte, how is everything down south of the Rio Grande?
Very good, Carter. Very good.
Excellent. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
How's the weather? Is the weather like, I'm going to guess, 90 degrees?
Yeah, you'd be pretty bang on. Same, it's almost the same every day. Sunny, no clouds, no wind. Usually the breeze comes up in the evening for a bit and it cools off a little bit in the evening, in the morning. And yeah, it just doesn't change.
It's just fantastic. It's just fantastic.
It is.
I think it is the epitomizes. I think I just wrote in an article. I think I wrote it in the article for your magazine that you edit, Insider Magazine, folks. Escapeartist.com. Go to escapeartist.com. Subscribe to Charlotte's Magazine, Insider Magazine. I think I just wrote this month's article. The nice thing about being down where you are is out of Porgy and Bess, the living is easy.
Yes,
summertime and the living is easy.
You did. Are you going to sing it?
Summertime and the living is easy. There we go. George Gershwin, great writer. Yeah. So what's going on? What'd you do this week?
Well, this week has been a work week because the magazine comes out June 1st. So I had contacted a hospital. I was hoping to get a tour of a hospital. You can go see the insides of them here. And but with work and everything, it just didn't work out because the last week of the month for me is the busiest. I said I'm working. I'm not retired. So.
Well, very, very well said. Whenever I would mention hospital or medical care in Honduras when I lived there, all my relatives were under the impression that they did surgery with an X-Acto knife and duct tape. And I would say, I don't think so.
No. You talk about healthcare in the article this month as well.
You what?
You talk about healthcare in the article that you wrote a little bit as well. So, yeah.
That's right. Our friend Patrick Keeper had a
Yeah.
great experience in Nicaragua. Total X-rays, CAT scans, everything for kidney stones. Doctor even escorted him to get his prescription, and it was $58.
Yes. Yeah. I talk about healthcare in my Mexico article this month as well.
Good.
Yeah.
I think I have a picture that I found that I think is proof positive that if people will join you in Mexico, folks, I want you to understand, I promise you, when you see this picture, you're going to say, Carter's right. He is selling happiness. I have a picture that is proof positive. When they join you, they will be happier. Folks, here you go. You ready? Who is that? I think that is you and your husband's anniversary, right?
It is, yes. We went for dinner to a seafood restaurant on the Carretera for our anniversary. So that was our 27th wedding anniversary.
Are you serious? 27?
27.
Wow,
Yeah.
Congratulations. All right, folks. You want a long, happy marriage? Mexico. There you go. Proof positive. Nobody can deny it. We have pictures with 1,000 words. Done.
Yeah.
That's
great. We had a great meal. It was nice. So
excellent. So how about this coming week? You going to any excursions anywhere down there?
Well, tomorrow we go to immigration to see about getting our temporary residence in place for the amnesty program. So the lawyer is actually going to pick us up here and drive us. Asked for directions. I said, I need to know the address where we're going because we'll have to tell the taxi. We're on foot. We don't have a car. And he said, don't worry about it. I'll come pick you up. So I said, okay, sure. So the immigration lawyer will come pick us up, drive us there. I'm really not sure what to expect. We can report on that next week.
That's great.
Yeah, so that, and we're hoping to get to Guadalajara as well to see around that city. So
Now, what is Guadalajara? I'm going to show my ignorance here. I mean, I think like there was a song about it or something. I
that I
think
don't know.
I'm not sure, but it sounds musical anyway. But is it on the water?
No, Guadalajara is not on the water. It's actually the second largest city in Mexico, and it's just north of where we are, probably about a half-hour drive north. So that's where it's a major airport. So if you're coming to Ajijic, that's where you would fly into is Guadalajara Airport.
Guadalajara.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very, very nice. That is
So
just
yeah,
wonderful.
there's a local that wants to show us around. So hopefully we can. We're hoping for June 3rd. So we'll see if that
June
works.
3rd. That would be
I think that's
next
Friday.
next Friday. That's what I
Mm-hmm.
thought. Yeah, next Friday. Good. Very, very nice. That's
Yeah.
just a good life. We went to now. What's the city you're going to for your immigration?
Do you know? I thought it was here in Chapala because there is an immigration office. Our appointment is at noon, but the lawyer said he'll pick us up at 11. So I don't know if he's driving us to Guadalajara or if he's just going to say, I'll pick you up at 11 and he'll show up late in typical Mexican fashion.
Very nice. And I think it will. So, as you know, my wife, Rachel, who's Honduran,
Yes.
we went up 2 weeks ago now to get her permanent residency in the
Mhm.
U.S., right? But the location of the immigration office in Philadelphia, in West Philadelphia, we were told, get out of the cab, walk straight to the door. Do not leave the building when you're finished until the cab is outside waiting. Now isn't that a lovely welcome to America?
Wow. Safety concerns?
What'd you say?
Is that for safety reasons that they said
Oh
that?
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow.
All of West
Wow.
Philly is an open air drug market. I said, I'm hungry. I want to go down to the main street, Market Street, to grab a sandwich. There were no restaurants left. They were
Wow.
all boarded over. Yeah. So,
Wow.
I told her, why are you getting this residency?
It,
So you're much better off. Yeah.
yeah. We're good. We're free, we're safe, we're healthy, we're happy. We just miss family. But
Well,
they
yeah.
will be coming. They will be coming to visit soon.
Oh, when are they coming? When are they
Well,
coming?
once we get our temporary and residency, we get something rented, a little more long term where they can come stay. I'm hoping it sounds like July, August is when they will be coming.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I'm
Excellent.
excited about that. My brother wants to come. He's chomping at the bit. He has never been outside of Canada.
Really?
Really.
Well,
So,
this is a good time to be
yeah,
getting outside of
yeah.
Canada.
And
He
I
may
think,
end up staying. You may have a
I
third
hope so.
person in the next
I hope
happy
so.
photo we get. There may be 3 instead of 2 once he gets down there with the lifestyle there.
Yes, I think so. And I think him and his wife will really like it here. It'll be a really good first experience for him being out of the country because it's not a ton of culture shock, but enough Mexican culture to make it unique and special, and you get the Mexican flavors. So I think it will be very good for him.
Very, very, very nice. Let me ask you this, because I know this is a question people ask me a lot when I would come home to visit when I was in Honduras. Have you had any bad experiences? They would say, "How about did you have been accosted?" I would tell them, "I'm sorry, but no."
Um, no, we
No.
the only this is going to sound weird for some people, but the only bad experience that comes to mind for me is when it's too hot.
Yes.
Because especially with me being Canadian, I'm used to the cooler weather. You maybe get one day in the 90s in the summer where I lived in Canada. And if you live when we were on the Pacific coast in Mexico, in Ziwa, it was way too hot for me. I mean, you were sweating constantly. It's just uncomfortable. And for
Yeah.
me, So far, that's been the only unpleasant experience. Or if for some reason your bank card doesn't work somewhere, because
Yeah. Well, yeah.
sometimes they don't. So you always have to make sure that you have enough cash on you to cover whatever expenses you plan on doing that day.
And you
Because
know what I would do? See if you do the same thing. I would never use a bank card machine that took the card. You know what I'm saying? There's
like
some
they
you
took it
just push
away.
it in and pull. I'm
Oh,
serious. Yeah, it was like, no, I'm not letting my card go into that machine. I found those in La Ceiba that
uh-huh.
you just it goes in and you keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
Not the one that sucks it in, because I thought, oh my God, I can't even speak Spanish. I mean, I'm not
Well,
even
how
going
do
to
you know
tell
then
anybody.
if it takes your card? How do you know if it's going to take your card all the way?
Well, some of them you push it and it stops.
Oh,
So
I see what you're saying.
you see
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah,
And
yeah.
so I wouldn't let go. I wouldn't let go. You know what surprised me is people would say to me, when you're in Honduras, like, in my day-to-day life, do they, they treat you better because you're a gringo? Do they treat you, like differentially, or do they treat you, maybe like the French and nasty? And
Oh,
what surprised? No, I told them they treat me indifferently. I said it's. Sometimes I feel like saying to them, "Have you noticed that I look different than you? Have you have you noticed I have brown hair and green eye? Do you notice this at all? Because I swear to God,
yeah.
they just
We haven't had anyone treat us differently. We've always had people treat us well. Well, at the market yesterday, we walked to the market and there was someone selling coffee. So he grinds beans. He has just a little wooden table with his grinder, and there's bags of beans, and he'll grind the coffee for you, dark roast or medium roast, whatever you want. And I'm like, okay, I want this coffee. And he wasn't there, wasn't there. Okay, well, we'll go to a couple of the other vendors we frequent and come back. Got there, he still wasn't there. So we waited, and the person next to him was selling sunglasses and was trying to get us to buy sunglasses. We're like, no, no, we don't need any. We want coffee and cafe. So he's okay, and he was speaking in Spanish. I could understand. He was, well, he's there. Just wait, he'll be coming. Still nobody. So the guy that works at the empanada table, who we go to every week, he decided to come over and sell us the coffee for him.
and so
So
you got your coffee.
we got our coffee. Never saw the
Good.
coffee guy. So hopefully he got his money. I'm sure he did. It's all interesting how they really support one another. If somebody at one of the stands doesn't have change, they go running up to a different stand and exchange change. I don't get, no, I don't have change, sorry. Or,
Yeah.
they really support one another and help each other out. It's not the attitude that this is my coffee stand, don't touch it, or that's somebody
Yeah.
else's coffee stand, I'm not going to help you, you can just wait.
There is in Central American countries, Mexico as well, still a feeling of community. There
Very
really is
much.
genuine feeling of community. You mentioned the heat. The only time the heat really would get to me, and in the summertime it gets well up in the 90s in La Ceiba. It gets us
Hmm.
right on the water. Was when I was on the chicken bus,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Charlotte, they wouldn't open there was no air conditioning, and they didn't open the windows. And they didn't they clearly were not bothered. I
No.
felt like saying to them, do you understand it's hot as hell in here? But I didn't know how to say it in Spanish, so I couldn't even ask.
Yeah. Yeah, I have caliente. I've heard that from a lot of people. Why do they not open the windows on the buses? And they're not tinted, so it's just the sun's
No.
beating in, and yeah, but the buses are hot. We've only taken one bus so far, and that's the one that I mentioned from Chapala back to the Walmart. And yet, very few of the windows were open. I opened the one above me, but very few of them were open. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it was. Yeah, I would open mine, and they would look at me like, "Why are you doing that?" You're letting the dust in.
yeah,
Yeah, but I want to point out there was no. They weren't sweating, and
no,
there was no odor.
no,
No, it was just.
no.
It's I maybe somebody told us because our blood is thinner. I don't know.
Well, there's definitely something different because they can handle the heat. The only time I saw somebody that was a local sweat was actually when we were in Nicaragua, in Leon. And Leon is hot. It was, I don't know what this would even be. It'd be over 100. But it was 41 degrees Celsius, that's hot, when we were in Leon. And we toured the cathedral, and they took us down into the crypt. And when they took us down into that crypt, you think it would be cooler, but it was it was really hot. And
Really?
even our guide was even sweating down there. So yeah, other than that, the heat doesn't seem to get to them.
And you know what else doesn't get to them? Now, this I have to admit I resent it a little.
Yeah.
Mosquitoes. I'm an AA, so I would go to AA meetings a couple times a week, and I felt like maybe the Latinos were sicking the mosquitoes on the gringo or something, because I'd be like, damn, nothing.
No, the mosquitoes love us. They love us. When we were in Belize and we went to the Black and White Garifuna restaurant in San Pedro, and Miss Julia was our server. And as soon as we got there, she put out a bunch of mosquito coils around us. And she said, the mosquitoes love you. Like they just eat us. She didn't call us a gringo, but they eat us alive. For some reason, they're attracted to our blood.
It's just weird. I'm Italian. I was tempted to stuff myself with garlic or something, but I don't eat garlic. No, garlic. Garlic drives off mosquitoes.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Oh yeah, garlic drives off everybody. It's
vampires.
What?
Vampires.
Maybe all blood-sucking animals it drives off, but
no, it doesn't drive off the government.
You got that right. Nothing drives off the government, but you can leave the government and not have to pay all those taxes.
Yeah.
And that's what I keep telling people. And you've made that clear several times on Charlotte's Wandering Web. You can own property there without it costing so much that you can't afford to live in your own damn house. The property tax is minuscule in Latino countries.
It is. People that we've talked to, even when we've done a couple of our little real estate tours, the property taxes are maybe $100 to $200 a year.
Incredible.
Less, and that's with a house on it. So, yeah.
Oh, I just had a neighbor, great blue collar guy down the street. I live in a very blue collar, working class neighborhood by choice. I just can't stand wealthy people. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going to happen one of these days when I'm wealthy. I'm not going to have any friends, but he stopped up, Steve, and he said, we're thinking of moving, buying a house out in Dover. That's right outside of York. And I said, really? He said, yeah. He said, a good price. The house is only $115, but get this. But he said, we can't do it because the property tax is $600 a month. Charlotte, who can afford something? That's horrifying.
That is horrifying.
That's horrifying.
That is horrifying. And we used to own 2 houses in Texas. We love Texas. Texas it feels like a second home to us. Love the Texan people, the food, everything about it. And we had sold a house. We sold both our houses in 2016. They increased. We had a nice gain on them in capital. And my husband looked just last night, and they sold again, one of them, for $200,000 more than what we sold it for in 2016. And I said, what are the property taxes on that? Because our property taxes were high at that time. They're $9,100 a year. Over $9,000 for property taxes on that house.
Horrifying.
And I think when we had it, I want to say they were between $4,000 and $5,000, which we found high at that time. But because Texas, the property has like in a lot of places in the States, it has skyrocketed. And Texas used to be very conservative with their property prices to keep them down. But they're having so much migration from the coasts that it's driving up the prices, because for people in California, that's still cheap.
So if you see if you agree with this, because I believe it. If you are a middle class, you cannot afford to live in the United States of America.
You can't afford Canada either. No,
you can't.
No.
You've got to get out.
Yeah,
you got to get out.
The middle class is being obliterated.
Yes,
in Canada and the United States. here in Mexico, they actually have a healthy, growing middle class.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I believe it started under George W. Bush, when that guy destroyed America's manufacturing base.
Mm.
I have a friend, my wife and I have a place up at a wonderful residential resort community up in West Virginia. It's all blue collar. And one of the guys, good friend of ours, he's been well into his 60s, Gary, and he had worked at Bethlehem Steel in Baltimore. Bethlehem Steel employed about 15,000 people, the steel mill. He worked there. His brother worked there. His father worked there. His grandfather, both of his grandfathers. George Bush sent all the steel manufacturing offshore and destroyed the middle class down in Sparrows Point, Bethlehem Steel. And I said, the country's worse off. He said, yeah. I said, maybe they should have kept us blue collar workers around.
Yeah.
We didn't. They obliterated them.
Yeah.
Obliterated them. Yeah. Now 84% of our pharmaceuticals come from China.
Mm-hmm. Just about everything comes from China.
Funny story. Years ago, I was going to visit my wife when she was still living in Honduras, and she said, "Bring me something nice." I said, "All right." So I went to Walmart. That's my idea of nice, and she said, "Bring me something from America." I could not find anything that was made in America.
Oh,
nothing. That's the war on the middle class.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But if they move to where you are,
Mm-hmm.
Honduras, Guatemala, Nicaragua, if you can bring in $2,000 a month, you live essentially like royalty. You live like the 1%.
Yeah,
right?
You can live comfortably here on $2,000 to $2,500 a month. Now, of course, cost of living is all relative to what your lifestyle is, right?
Yeah.
But for us, from our experience of being here as long as we have now, because I've kept all my receipts, so I can really go and see what would it be. And you can live comfortably. We can on our lifestyle for $2,000 to $2,500 a month, and that includes your rent. That includes eating out. It includes groceries. Transportation where you might want to go. It's affordable. Like I said, we can live here again. So
it's wonderful. It's pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
It is pleasant. Well, I think we have provided proof positive today, along with photo evidence that it is, at the Offshore Club, we always say, when you move south of the border, it's the good life at a great price.
Yes.
And we have, once again, you have done it. You have proven it. You are proof positive.
Yes.
You, and what is your husband's name?
Daryl.
Daryl, that's right. You and Daryl. Folks, you want to be that happy? Follow Charlotte. Wander with Charlotte down to Mexico. Charlotte, thank you. This has been great. As usual.
Thank you.
It's been wonderful. Thank you. Folks, you cannot, when you see Charlotte, when we talk with Charlotte every week on Charlotte's Wanderer, you see that smile, you see the enjoyment of that lifestyle. You can have it. You can have it. Just make your move south of the border. Your plan B, your escape route. As I always tell you, let's do this thing.